So today I'm going to share just a few thoughts that have come to me since last time, and then I'll go into Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings. It came to me that the mindfulness trainings are meant to develop an ever stronger ability to discern the causes of suffering so that we can choose not to perpetuate them. And I was reflecting on how in the monastic communities with Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings, which hold them, that they're all about cultivating friendship and the happiness people can share while living simply, meditating together, singing, eating, and working together. And love is always present to be actualized between us if we are willing to love. And from these contemplations, the question arose in me, which I'm sitting with, is what draws humans to choose drama and suffering over the joy that we can experience living simply together? I almost saw it as a choice in a way that I haven't ever seen it before, but there's quite a pull to go towards the drama. And then there was one thought that came up in light of our discussion last time that we didn't talk about, which is with sexuality, that the desire body, when it's having sex, can feel loving and loved. And if sex is withheld for any reason, it can quickly turn vengeful and hateful. And I think this is kind of behind why Thich Nhat Hahn was speaking about sexuality is not necessarily love. And I've certainly experienced some of that. And so it's like how quickly we can erase the honor and respect that we recently had held for our lover. And I was thinking about how much suffering arises from lovers' quarrels. It's quite a charged energy. And so then I was thinking that perhaps the test of true love is whether love endures through challenging times. If we are able to return to self-love and for love of another while honoring our differences. And Thich Nhat Hahn says that the Third Mindfulness Training reminds us that sometimes it is necessary for us to take care of our sexual energy. And he gave a number of concrete practices that can be used for doing this. The first one is a mindful diet. Sexual energy is not produced by the mind, only by the body, but also by the mind. When we consume the internet, video games, and other media unskillfully, we can arouse sexual energy in our mind in a way that is completely disconnected from love. And this is so pervasive these days. Oh my God, you can try to avoid it and it still flashes by. It's like, oh God. Anyway, he says that advertisements can play into our sexual energy without our even noticing it. When we feel that our sexual energy is too strong and could lead to do things that will cause suffering, we need to look carefully at what we are consuming, both in terms of entertainment and media, and in terms of our edible food. He proposes that we eat in moderation, refraining from drinking alcohol, eating healthy food, and not eating late at night. And all of these can help us focus on what our bodies need and shift our physical focus more inward. And the second exercise is physical exercise. Physical exercise is a wonderful way of taking care of sexual energy. Exercise your body every day in a way that feels right for you. And he points out that there are forms of exercise, including Qigong and yoga, that are specifically designed to help channel sexual energy in a way that is nourishing and healthy. And then he suggests using the metta meditation, saying that metta means loving kindness. And practicing this meditation helps facilitate our access to compassion and helps us to discover true love. He actually states that true love is a discovery process. And so he gave some simple instructions for using the meditation that we will say today. And when you do it on your own, he suggests that you start focusing just on yourself for a period of time so that you can really develop and cultivate love for who you are in this moment of time. And then he suggests that after you've really developed, feelings of love for yourself in areas perhaps that you haven't, then he says it's time you can move towards loving others. So you can change the wording in the meditation to direct it towards someone else. And he suggests that starting that one, you go through a series and you start with someone that is a dear friend, somebody that you can easily send love to, and do the meditation in that direction for a while, and then use the meditation for someone that you feel neutral about, and see how that one goes, and then use the meditation for someone that you dislike, and allow the meditation to deepen, into full sincerity of wishing that person the well-being. And then finally, he suggests using it for someone that you love very much and that you probably have attachments to. And our attachments are one of the things that prevent us from experiencing true love. And he says that when we successfully practice, we'll develop equanimity and be able to love and understand even the person that we formerly disliked. And he says that you may also see the person that you have been most attached to in a different light with this meditation, with more understanding and with fewer misperceptions. You may begin to see their difficulties more clearly, their shortcomings, but you'll also have a greater capacity to accept them. And I think this is the revelation of true love. He's speaking about our practices, strengthening our ability and allowing us to fully embody and experience true love. And then he brings up in the chapter also very strongly practicing the 4 immeasurables, which we have gone through, but I feel like it's just always good to come back to them because they are the 4 elements of true love, and they increase our happiness and the happiness of others. So briefly, I'll go through them again. Maitri, loving kindness, is the first element of true love. And Maitri has the same Sanskrit root as Mitra, which means friend. And love is at the base of deep friendship. And this development of friendship is one of the ways of supporting a healthy relationship with our sexuality. And he goes on to say that to be a friend means to offer happiness. And he says, if love isn't creating more happiness, if it's making you cry all the time, then it's not Maitri. Self-love is the foundation for loving another person. You must be able to love yourself and offer yourself happiness to be able to love another person and offer them happiness and joy. So part of the practice is definitely looking at the ways we bring happiness into our own lives. And then second is karuna, compassion. Karuna is the capacity to relieve suffering, whether that is suffering in yourself or in the other person. And he says we all have that capacity, but I think it really does take practice. And a lot of people have mistaken compassion for suffering with someone else, but he's really pointing to compassion being our ability to help relieve the suffering. And it's born from understanding. So it takes that mindful listening and caring to develop. And he says, whenever you have a painful feeling, mindfulness of compassion can help you learn to be there with that feeling without fighting it. He says, then you can embrace and accept it. And if you continue to practice mindful breathing and tenderly holding your pain and your sorrow, you'll be able to look deeply into your suffering and begin to understand its nature and its causes. Again, you must learn to be able to relieve your own suffering first, and then you'll be able to relieve the suffering in others. And I thought this was really good teaching, to look at how we can relieve our own suffering. As skills developed, he points out again, you need not suffer with the other person. Instead, you can help yourself and the other person suffer less. And the third one is mudita, joy. It's the third element of true love. And mindful awareness allows us access to that feeling of joy and happiness at any moment. And this is what he's emphasizing, is that joy is available. I was pointing it out with love, but he's saying also joy is available to us at any moment. Yeah, there's always, there are ways to bring love to yourself. I mean, joy to yourself. If you're truly joyful and your joy has wholesome roots, then it benefits other people. And just by inhabiting joy, others can gain happiness from being around us. He points out that letting go is a key to drawing joy to yourself. Letting go of attachments, ideas of how it should be, and of stories from the past. And he says that releasing these habitual ways of thinking can sound simple, but it is an art. In meditation, we can focus on releasing our stories so we can cultivate happiness. The releasing of thoughts that make us suffer always reminds me of Byron Katie's key questions. And I don't know if any of you have worked with her, but I just think these questions are so phenomenal. She will ask people, how does that thought make you feel? And then she'll ask, is it worth keeping that thought? And I just find that a very powerful working edge for working this teaching. And Thich Nhat Hahn says, releasing disturbing thoughts can bring joy right away. And Upeksha, our equanimity, is the fourth element of true love. Thich Nhat Hahn prefers to think of it as inclusiveness. He says, in true love, you don't exclude anyone. There's no longer any discrimination. And as you realize your oneness, happiness is no longer an individual matter. Neither is suffering an individual matter. There is no longer any barrier, any frontier between the lover and the one who is loved. In this sense, there's no longer any separate self. And he points out that if attachment to your beloved one, or beloved ones, cuts you off from other people and species, then it's not true love. True love benefits everyone, including animals, plants, and minerals. As you go in a good direction with your love, it will grow more inclusive all the time. And he says, true love is generated from within. It is like the shining sun offering light to everyone.